headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. We're glad you guys are with us. We're here to help you. Jade is a Ramsey personality and best-selling author of the book, Money's Not a Math Problem. It's one of our Ramsey quick reads, which means it is 74 pages long. Is that right? Yeah, look at that. Pretty close.
That's pretty good.
70 close. It is 74 pages long. Look at that. My memory's impeccable.
Steel trap.
That's it. That's it. Hey, thanks for being with us, guys. We're glad we can serve you. We want you to be here and, gosh, help you move to the next level in whatever you're doing. All right, Rochelle is in Houston, Texas. Hi, Rochelle. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. Hi.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Jay. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I just wanted to get Dave's input on a situation. So my husband and I, we have 4 kids. We're a blended family. I have a daughter. He has a son, and then we have 2 boys together. His father died, and he inherited some land from him. It's family land. And so when we are talking about inheritance for our children, he wants, and understandably so, the land to be split between the 3 boys because he wants to keep it in his bloodline. And so I am fine with that, but where we disagree is on how to do inheritance for my daughter. He thinks the land should be not even taken into consideration when we do inheritance. So monetary value, et cetera, shouldn't matter. And so what we're kind of looking at is actually selling our current home and then using the money that we make to move to that land and then build on it, in which case we would live out the rest of our days there and put our money into it. And I think that that also should be taken into consideration. But he thinks that the boys should get the land split between them, and then whatever else inheritance we have left should be split equally between all 4 kids. And so I just kind of wanted your opinion on that.
Wow. Does it occur to him how hurtful it is when he says that?
I don't think so.
If you said, that's hurtful, you're a butt?
I haven't said that. I try to talk very nicely to him.
I know, but that's what my wife would have said. I'm just thinking. But,
and it's very sentimental to him. His dad was his best friend.
And Cinderella has to go, the stepchild has to go and mop the floors while the 3 other ones go to the ball. I lost you.
Fine. Are you there?
Yeah, you cut out. I don't know what happened to your phone. That's okay.
Sorry. But like I said, I don't mind them getting the land. That's totally fine. It's
so how much land is involved?
It's only about 33 acres right now. Mm-hmm. It was his grandmother's land. She sold it, and then his dad bought back this portion and was wanting the remainder of it surrounding it. And so my husband wants to buy back the remainder as well if we can.
The remainder is how much on top of the 33?
I don't know how much more there is that he would want to buy.
What is your personal income, and what is his income?
He makes about 65, and I make about 55 right now. Mm-hmm. But we both increase pretty regularly every year.
How old are you guys?
36.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know that our opinion really matters here, because Bubba's made his mind up.
Yeah.
So
I just kind of wanted to know.
So
if I was in the...
I think that, probably what you've got is a situation where you need to sit down with your pastor, or marriage counselor, or somebody like that. It is a thing to require some thought, but after just listening to you, so here's what I've got, okay? You make half the money in the house approximately. You guys are going to be married and living there probably 40 years, so more than 3/4 of your life, his life, is going to be spent doing things together here, and including your daughter, and so I'm just calling BS. I think these 4 kids should be treated equally because your connection to it, because he's wanting you to use your income and help him buy a house on land he doesn't want to leave to your daughter after 40 years.
How old are the kids?
My daughter's 14, my stepson's 13, and then our twins are 2.
Yeah.
Oh, what a wedge.
Yeah. No, and that's thing one. Thing two is people and relationships trump stuff. This kid is more important than this piece of land. And he's her daddy now. And she lives with y'all, right?
Yes, she does currently, yes.
Yeah. His relationship to her is more important than 33 freaking acres in Texas.
Okay.
I just don't, I would give him about a 20% part of the right answer here and about 80% wrong, so he loses.
I feel like a different scenario would be you guys were 55 years old. It was your second marriage and the kids are grown. That feels different. Like
yeah, it's different.
That's a completely different situation with saying, hey.
But you're contributing, the vast majority, you're contributing half with the sale of the house and the building of the house and your income for 40 years from age 35 to age 65 or to age 75, right? And you're contributing half all the way through there. And so how your daughter doesn't get into that half is ridiculous.
Okay.
From a math standpoint, from a philosophical or spiritual standpoint, it's just a stupid piece of dirt. I don't really care where it came from. I mean, I've got some dirt that I own that I really love, and I'd like to see my kids and grandkids playing on it. My great-grandkids, my great-great-great-grandkids, when I'm looking at them from heaven, I'd love to see them playing on that and enjoying that dirt. But I don't want it to form their life, and I don't want them to value that dirt over relationships.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I don't buy off on the sentimental crap. I got some hand tools from my dad. Okay, that's sentimental. Okay, they're ancient antique hand tools, right? And so those are sentimental. But I'm certainly not going to let a wrench and a hammer stand between me and a kid that I'm raising. I just, that's how I put this. That's the bucket I put this in.
I agree wholeheartely.
So if the step kid wants the hammer, it's okay.
That's fine.
Give the other one the wrench. It's just stuff. Yeah, and I don't want to. So I don't think he's thinking this through. I don't think he's a butt. He's acting, but it was kind of fun to say that. But
I kind of do.
Yeah.
In this moment.
Yeah, I don't think he's a hurtful person. Like,
sure.
I don't think that's what he's doing, okay?
He's not thought of it from all angles.
But I just don't think he's thinking through the message he's sending to this teenage girl. And I don't like that message. This is The Ramsey Show. Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes building a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country. And they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to ChurchillMortgage.com to get started. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today. Brooklyn is with us in Indianapolis. Hi, Brooklyn. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So my situation, we are currently renting one of my parents' properties. We're getting a discount on the
You're
rent.
renting. I'm sorry. You're renting what?
We're renting from my parents. We're getting a discount on rent.
From rent, they own a rental house that you're living in?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And so you have cheap rent. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yep. And we have no debt. Our emergency fund is funded. My question is, we also purchased a rental in November. We owe $65,000 on it. We could sell it for 80 or 90, and we could possibly pay it off by July of next year. But we're also really itching to buy a few acres and build. So we just wanted your opinion on whether we should sell it, keep it, or what you think.
What stops you from moving into it
It's
and
really,
it being your home instead of you renting and then renting another? That just feels.
I know.
backwards.
We thought about that too, and yet that's our problem. Is we do think that we may have done it backwards.
Yeah, I think so too. It doesn't make sense to be in a renter's position and then buy a house for someone else to rent. I think you're trying to get ahead too quickly. Does that make sense?
No, I agree. That's why once we sat down and we thought about it, we're like, we probably shouldn't have done that. It's only 600 square feet, and we have 2 kids, so that would be really
okay. So it won't fit you. So sell it. What happens if you sell it?
Yeah, sell it and use it towards your building project.
Okay, that's what we were leaning towards.
Yeah.
We just wanted to. We do have we were concerned about the capital gains on it.
There's not
It's
going
not
to
going to be hardly
How long
any.
have you owned it?
6 months. We bought it in November.
Okay. And how much has it gone up in value since you bought it?
We bought it at 70, and I just talked to our realtor yesterday. He said we could probably get anywhere from 80, 85, 90.
Okay. Well, your capital gains inside of 1 year won't be capital gains. It'll be ordinary income. So it'll be at your tax rate. If you make $10,000, it costs you $2,500 in taxes.
Okay.
Whoopee.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
A small price to pay to get on the right side of this.
Yeah, it's not a big
equation.
deal. So it's not like capital gains taxes. No, I mean it's $2,000, and it's not even $2,000 because it's actually
After
It's
fees.
after all the fees and any improvements you've done to the property are added onto your basis, and then any depreciation you've done. If you depreciated it in this calendar year for taxes, that comes off the basis. So you've got what we call an adjusted basis, and then the sale price minus expenses minus the adjusted basis is how you calculate the gain. And in this case, the gain will be taxed because it's under 1 year at ordinary income rather than at capital gains. And my guess is that your ordinary income is probably, your tax rate might be 25%, and capital gains is 15%. So the difference is probably $300 or $400. It's not a big deal. Now, we could say if it was $30,000 or $40,000 difference between the 15% capital gains rate, because it was a lot of money, okay, then we could say wait until the 1 year mark to actually have the closing.
That makes sense.
Which
That way
makes you qualify for the 15% rather than the higher. So like in my case, I'm taxed at about 40%, and my capital gains rate is 20%. And so
that's fun.
Because I might make over $400K. So, but still, that's the difference of 20%. And 20% on $200,000 would cause me to wait to close it until until the 1 year mark. And so you would stop and think that through. But for a couple of $100 here or there, or $1,000 or $2,000 total tax issue, I'm not going to worry about it. You just need to do the right thing. And Brooklyn, I think here's the thing. I think you guys know now, down inside of you, before you called, that was the right thing to do. You kind of told us that.
Yeah.
You kind of telegraphed the answer, right? And I'm going to warn you and say, you probably knew before you bought this.
Oh, that's good. This is a Papa Dave
You probably
moment.
had that moment where you paused and went, is this really the right order? And, oh, no, we're going to buy a rental property, and you just plowed right ahead. Listen to that still small voice. Listen to that tightness in your chest and across the back of your shoulder blades that's telling you not to do something. When you don't have peace about a major decision. That's God telling you not to move forward. And most of us can go, I knew I shouldn't have done, but I did it anyway. I mean, I could tell you 1,000 things I've done like that. And you just gotta stop and listen to that and go, no, I know I'm not. And even though there's all these other voices saying do it on TikTok, I'm still not going to do it.
That's good.
And yeah, listen to that. It saves you a lot of money. Matthew's in Orlando, Florida. Hi, Matthew. How are you?
Hey, Dave. How are you today?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Hey, so my wife and I, we have a net worth together of $1.5 million.
Phenomenal.
And we have no debt.
Way to go.
Yeah, that's great. And I have a business I own. I do car hauling here in Florida, and I'm looking to upgrade my truck and trailer. Both of what I have are pretty old. My question is it okay to mix our personal money and business money? I just started this 2 months ago, and it's...
you started this 2 months ago and you bought a junk truck?
I bought a 20-year-old truck, but it's reliable. It's just really old.
2 months ago?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, why didn't you think about that before you bought the truck?
It was kind of I guess it was an emotional decision when I bought the truck.
What was the emotion?
I guess it's more like a sentimental thing about it. I wanted a truck with a manual transmission. They don't make them these days at all. And I wanted a truck with a reliable engine that was kind of like all this crazy emission stuff. So it doesn't have any of that sort of equipment on it.
And now you're realizing this doesn't work for you?
So the nostalgia doesn't work in the real world.
Well, it's not that the truck has any problems. It's just...
Okay, so here's the deal. Yes, you can do whatever you want. You got $1.5 million. You can go buy another truck, okay? There's a couple things from a business standpoint you need to think about. Anytime you're buying equipment for a business or buying things for a business, they are an expense. And
Right.
they lower the return, the profit of the business. Agreed?
Agreed, yes.
And so what we teach entrepreneurs and small business people in Entree Leadership, I'll be with 3,000 of them in Dallas next week at our Entree Leadership Summit. What we teach them is to buy the least expensive equipment that will, quote, get the job done, unquote. Now, let's define get the job done. Get the job done involves a layer of reliability. Get the job done means they literally have to get the cars from one point to another in this case. It has to be able to actually pull the trailer. Get the job done if you're going to be in the truck 5 or 8 hours a day for 5 days a week involves a level of comfort. So you end up in the chiropractor's office, okay?
I'd also think it involves a level of time, like how long can you use it and it's in working order.
Yeah. I mean, how much life has it got left in it? So then that tells you that in the early stages of a business, you do not buy new equipment. So you were wise to buy used equipment. Now, have you proven the business model out? Are you making money?
I have managed to make money in my first 2 months somehow. Yes.
Doesn't sound real convincing. Managed somehow are not words
What'd
I
you
like.
make?
That's like barely by the skin of your teeth got through. So, I'm going to keep the old truck till I get this business cooking. When it gets cooking, it justifies moving up in the quality of vehicle, but even then, probably not a brand new one.
And then the business can pay for it.
Yeah, you can organically out of the cash flows. She's right. Buy the truck. That's what I would do. It's what I do. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey guys, Ramsey Solutions started small and grew fast. Because of that rapid growth, there were times when our systems slowed us down. That's why we switched to NetSuite. It works for us, and it'll help your business too. Whether you're starting on a card table like I did, or you're well on your way to becoming a multi-million-dollar company, NetSuite can scale with you and help you communicate and plan better. Because you know your day-to-day up and down and sideways, but accounting, analytics, and supply chain are on another level. So maybe you're just not tech savvy. That can be okay. NetSuite will help at your speed and whatever your situation. More than 37,000 companies use NetSuite to know their numbers and their business better. So check out NetSuite today and find out how they can help you become the business you want to be 5 or 30 years from now. And right now, you can download NetSuite's free KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today. Well, exciting news, guys. We launched yesterday the Live Like No One Else cruise. Yeah, baby. We're going on Holland America. We've got the whole ship, one of the top brands out there. This is not the Walmart on the seas. This is the good ship. This is the good ship lollipop here. I mean, the Holland America is the good stuff, baby.
Yeah, the Walmart brand, we won't call them by name.
We won't name it, but you know what it is, okay? And so anyway, yeah, hey, this is a lot of fun. We had booked this, and our sale date was March 23rd, 2020.
Aye.
Yeah, when the Fauci pandemic shut down the seas, nothing happened on the seas. And so we had to cancel the seas, and we didn't get to go on the seas. And so it was rather painful. Everyone got their money back. Thank God no one went broke doing all this thing. But anyway, so now all these years later, we are announcing today that on March 22nd through the 29th, 2025, about a year from now, we will sail to Turks and Caicos, St. Thomas, San Juan, the Bahamas. I'll be on the ship with my wife Sharon the whole week. Jade will be with us the whole week. Of course, all of the Ramsey personalities, Dr. John Deloney, Ken Coleman, Rachel Cruz, George Camel, all of us will be there all week. We're going to be doing events on the ship. We'll be some of the entertaining. They'll have some of their little dancing people there too.
Oh, will they?
The little dance, you know,
that's what I
know
used to
about
do.
these cruise dancing
doing the
people.
can, yeah.
That's it.
Well, they're doing
So
more than that.
They'll have their actual talent, but we're bringing our own too. Man, we've got some friends coming with us. Stephen Curtis Chapman, 3-time Grammy award-winning, 69 Doves, and an all-around good guy. Stephen and I have been friends for a long time. World-renowned Christian artist will be with us. Maneet Chauhan from the Food Channel, Iron Chef winner, fabulous chef. Again, a friend locally here in the Nashville area. She owns a whole series of restaurants and has done events with us before. She'll be teaching you to cook there on the ship. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dina Carter, remember Strawberry Wine?
Strawberry Wine.
There we go. See, I knew I couldn't do that,
Listen,
but I knew
you
I
can
could
count on
cue
me,
you.
Dave.
There
You
you
can
go.
count on me.
So there we go. Dina's going to be with us. Tons more. We've got some of the Nashville songwriters will be with us, comedians, illusionists, all kinds of people hanging out. It's going to be all of us and you. Now, you do not come on the Live Like No One Else cruise unless you're on baby step 4 or beyond, because 1 through 3 you're getting out of debt and you're not going on vacation and you're not eating out and you're gazelle intense cleaning up stuff. So, and we don't want you to come. We're not hypocrites. This is a celebration. So you've become debt free. This is the ultimate debt free scream in the Caribbean, baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so here's the problem. It's selling out. It's only been on the market 1 day and it's selling out. I mean, we melted the internet. The poor cruise people, they're like, you shut us down. Your people slammed our website.
That's awesome.
So it is not sold out, but the VIP upgrades are sold out already. And there's just a few of the suites left. So if you want a suite, you better jump on right this second and do it. RamseySolutions.com/cruise. It's March 22nd through the 29th, 2025. We're going to celebrate together a lot of onboard special events with all of us, hanging out with all of you. We're going to be on the ship together for 7 days, man. It's going to be a blast. And Our whole team is pumped about this. They're really excited. They got me to do it again because after that Fauci pandemic thing, I was scarred and wounded.
I bet.
And didn't ever want to be near a cruise ever again. But anyway, I'm doing it, and I'm excited about it, and it's going to be fun. And here we go, baby. Here we go.
It's exciting.
We got quite a lineup. There's some really, I mean, the famous people are coming. It's pretty cool. So get your tickets now. Get the reservations done now. I know it's a year away, but if you want, I mean, cabin selections, like anything else, the better ones go first, right?
You want one with a window, so don't wait.
Yeah, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you want a suite, there's just a handful left. Again, the VIP upgrades are already gone. So, but the suites are there. That was some VIP stuff we were doing on the boat, but are going to do. So, I don't think you call them a boat. Sharon always says, "Don't call it a boat."
Yeah, you got to call it a ship. Ships carry boats.
Yeah, boats are what you ski behind.
There you go.
There we go. Catch fish out of. Yeah, that kind of stuff. All right. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Go to RamseySolutions.com/cruise. Seriously, if you're baby step 4 and beyond, this is your chance. You know, we teach you to live like no one else so that later you can
live like no one else.
on the Live Like No One Else cruise. Yeah. There you go.
I'm excited.
Laura is with us in Salt Lake City. Hi, Laura. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Well, my basic question is it worth it to move our family to a new state for basically a $13,000 annual raise? There's more to it.
It kind of sounds like you don't want to already.
That was a big sigh.
Well, it's just,
Is it worth it? Do I have to? This is awful. That's what it sounds like.
That's a good point.
Where would you be moving to?
So we're currently in Utah. We're going to be moving to Missouri, which is where I grew up. So I know the area, and I like the area. It's just we have 4 kids, and we're pretty settled where we are.
What does settled mean?
And,
how long you been there?
5 years, which is actually a long time for us.
Okay. How old are the kiddos?
The oldest one is 15, and the youngest is 4.
Okay.
What kind of work is it? What type of work are you chasing?
So this is for my husband's work, and he's an arborist. He works on trees.
Got it.
So,
Where in Missouri?
In Columbia.
Okay. What made him look for a job?
Because he's at basically the top of what he could earn here. And the biggest reason we're looking in that area is because we could sell our home here and make $150,000 to $200,000 on it, and we could buy a house cash over there, or almost cash. And owning our home has always been not having a mortgage has always been one of our goals.
How old are you?
But with our current, I'll be 40 this year, and my husband just turned 40, so we're both 40.
I don't know how it is at your house, but when Rachel Cruz and Denise Whittemore were 15, the drama was unbelievable.
Oh, yes. Now, my older 2 are boys, and so, there's still drama there, but...
Well, there's not as much, but yeah, that's true.
True.
I mean, those 2 went to college, and we were left with a teenage son, and we didn't even know he was there. I mean, so I was just thinking that maybe that was entering into they don't want to leave, and you're telegraphing what they want.
Yeah, you've nailed it.
Okay. Well, that's the way it would have been at my house. I mean, the kids are like, wah, wah, wah. Everything you do, they like, wah. I mean, Mark Twain said when they turn 13, put them in a barrel and feed them through a hole. And when they turn 15, plug up the hole. I mean,
oh gosh,
that's how Mark Twain said to handle teenagers. So, but
this is all for $13,000 a year, though.
No, it's for getting their house paid off and going back towards where home is. And the only thing is, the kids don't want to go.
That's true.
All the adults want to go.
The adults want to go. The kids don't want to go.
Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay.
Did you? You said when we asked you before how long you'd been there, you said 5 years, and you said, "Well, that's a long time for us." Have you guys been moving around a lot? Is that another part of this?
We have moved a lot. So each of our kids have been born in a different state, and we're not military. So
why? Just he's chasing work?
Chasing jobs.
Yeah.
So
okay. Our kids' feelings
job.
got heard, and they had input, but they didn't have a vote. The adults make the decision. We love our kids. We want to know how they feel. We want to know what they think and hear them out. But at the end of the day, the adults have to make the decision because the inmates don't run the asylum. So that's how we did stuff, and I think you guys are moving, Laura. Now, one thing you can commit to the kids and to each other is we're not moving again.
You can say that.
We're going to stay. We're making this move so that we don't move again. Mm-hmm. And that's what I would do. This is The Ramsey Show. You know, it doesn't take a degree in statistics to realize that this one stinks. 93% of undergraduate private student loans are co-signed. So when you're delinquent and drowning in private student loan debt, mom or dad or Uncle Joe is stuck in that financial stress along with you. But there is a way out. Why Refi? Why Refi offers a custom refinancing option with a fixed rate loan based on your ability to pay. And the average interest rate Why Refi offers is 3.9%, which can significantly reduce your monthly payment and decrease your total cost. Why Refi refinances your defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch. And I trust them to help you get out of debt. So don't be another statistic in the student loan swamp. Contact Why Refi at 844-2-RAMSEY or go to whyrefi.com/Ramsey. That's 844-2-RAMSEY or the letter Y, then REFY.com/Ramsey. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. David is in Manchester, New Hampshire. Hi, David. How are you?
I have had better days.
Okay. What's up?
My wife passed away a few weeks ago.
Oh, my.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to try and keep it together. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. How old was she?
She was just a few days shy of her 60th birthday.
Oh, man.
Oh, my. How long were you all married?
33 years.
Wow. What happened to her?
Long story, lots of health issues. In the end, it was heart problems and cancer kind of combined.
Wow.
Sorry.
Long road then. Long road.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Her name was Lynn.
Lynn. Okay. I'm so sorry, David.
Thank you, sir.
Hard to breathe right now. How can we help you, sir?
Well, I was a long-time listener, started listening in the late 90s, and we taught FPU together. We got serious about working the baby steps in about 2006 when we moved up here from Texas. We were debt-free except for the house when she passed, and our net worth was just shy of $1 million.
Good for you. Wow.
And now when I look at those calculations, it just tastes like ash in my mouth.
Why?
Well, all those years of doing things the right way, and then I lose her just before we hit the finish line.
Oh, I see.
I know I shouldn't make big decisions right now, and I'm not.
Good.
But I seem just so much more aware that tomorrow's not guaranteed. And all the things we'd planned to do that now we won't be able to do together have me mourning not only my wife, but my future. So my question is, how can I balance the desire to try and live my life fully and still be wise?
I spoke at a friend of mine's funeral with another friend of mine the other day, and the other guy speaking is a world-class communicator, and he said something that stuck with me. He said, when a baby is born or when we do a funeral, all of us stop and readjust our lives to the plumb line. Those events are tuning forks. Ding, and you tune to it, right? You know what I'm saying?
I said the exact same thing at her funeral the other day.
Oh, wow. Okay. And that's exactly what you're doing. That's what your question is about. And that's not a bad question. It's a question we all ought to do, but the tragedy that you've gone through recently is just making you very aware of it. We always have this pull between being wise and future-oriented and living in the moment. Enjoying the moment, enjoying the present, enjoying why wouldn't I, kind of thing. And so that's why when I turned 60, I went and jumped out of an airplane. Why wouldn't I? And well, you might die. Yeah, no, I'm going to die. It might be of this, it might not, but I'm going to, and so I'm going to go do it. I'm going to live, right? So, that's the kind of thing you want to do. Now, did I jump out of an airplane without a parachute? No. Did I take the class and did I learn from the video all the things that could go wrong? And did I make sure all the equipment and the people involved were, so I was wise about living my life wide open. I'm using that as a metaphor, not as me being smart or something, but it's a metaphor for the answer to your question, I think. Is it communicating?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that's what I'm trying to do. It's just really hard.
I mean, you can't breathe right now. It was 2 weeks ago. I've been married 43 years. You've been married 33. Let me just tell you, if Sharon dies before me, I'm useless. So I can't even breathe thinking about it, and you're actually living it. Yeah. So, I mean, give yourself a chance to just catch your breath and cry a little.
Yeah. Right now, everything is in extremes.
Yeah.
You've just faced the extreme amount of grief, and now in your mind, the idea of living life to the fullest is all the way on another extreme.
Yeah.
And I think over time, it'll balance out.
But you're not a guy who's going to live life to the fullest, celebrate the moment, live in the moment to a level of immaturity and burn through $1 million in 4 months. You're not that guy.
No.
You don't have that capacity. It's just not who you are. So you're going to be wise, but you're right. You're going to treasure every cup of coffee, every sunrise, every sunset. You're going to treasure every puppy that you buy. You're going to treasure everything now. I mean, everything's a little brighter, everything's a little darker, and I completely understand that and embrace that. And then a year from now, when you're doing that thing that you all wanted to do together, just remember you're really doing it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. It's hard to, you can't think your way through where you are. You have to live your way through where you are. It's hard. I'm sorry. But
yeah.
I the only thing I can promise you is that you will be thinking clearer, and these answers will be readily available to you 6 months from now that they're not now. And it's not that it hurts less. It's just that you've learned how to walk your way through it, and it's part of the process of grieving. And you got good people around you, David?
I do. I've got a great church, and I've got an amazing group of men that have come around me.
Oh, that's so vital. That's so vital.
Such a blessing. Yes.
Yeah. And that Dr. John Deloney always says this, and I had never heard it before he came on with us and started talking. He said, grief demands a witness, and that's from one of the researchers and writers that he's familiar with. He is quoting, I can't remember who the guy was, so I'm quoting Deloney instead. But I think that's true. Grief is not something to be done alone. Mm. And so we're honored that you would share yours with us today.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate your wisdom and your insight.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, David. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, and and you're in my age group, and so I've got people in my in your situation, in my all around me, in my friend group, and so forth. And the only thing I will warn you is that you've done very well financially, and so you're prime picking. You need to just be aware that the sharks are going to circle, buddy. They're going to come at you. It's the weirdest thing.
You talking about the cougars?
How attractive the 60-year-old man becomes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. It happens. It happens to ladies as well. But
this must be a real thing.
Yeah,
for
it's a real thing, believe me. And so, especially when you've done well like he has and financially. So you're not even thinking about that now, and that's why I'm saying it, because you're not thinking about it. So you need to just be aware and keep your shields up, brother, for a while. Yeah, wow.
That's tough.
So listen, so here's your options, okay? Spend everything you make and be broke and live completely in the moment like a child. And then if something like this happens with your spouse, you've lived every moment, but you've also lived stress and anxiety the entire time.
Yeah.
So it's easy to take a story like that and say, well, that's a reason to not save for the future. That's a reason to not think about there, because you don't ever know if you're actually going to get to live out those HD high definition dreams that you put on the whiteboard with your spouse.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to get to live them out. But if you don't plan to live them out, then you leave every year in between there in angst.
That's true.
And so it's he did the best thing he could have done, even though it didn't turn out the way he planned.
That's right.
And he's right. He's having to grieve the future or lean into a new future now. Wow. That he didn't visualize before. I'm sorry, David. Love you, man. Thank you for calling in. And if you need some help, you call us anytime. This is The Ramsey Show. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today. And as we kick this hour off, we've also got one of the other Ramsey personalities, Rachel Cruz, on the line with us. She's on the road doing a book signing for her new book, I'm Glad for Where I Am, a great children's book and a great bedtime story all about gratitude. Rachel, how's it going in Los Angeles today?
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm like a reporter for the news. I'm like out on the streets calling in. But yeah, doing great here in LA. We got in last night here. We were in Phoenix before that, New York before that. So we're just on the road. It's been great.
So you had a Phoenix book signing last night. How'd that go?
Yes, it was so great. There were probably, 50 families or so that came out. A lot of little kids, which was so great.
That's what we want, yeah.
And yeah, it's always so encouraging being out because, I mean, literally every person that came up, they had a story, right? And the Ramsey Show was always a part of it. And things, from Deloney and Ken to Jade and George to you, Dave, everyone's just like rocking it with their money, and it's helped them so much. So it's always fun to hear people's stories, one after the other, with all these little kids. It was so great.
Fun.
Yeah, powerful. So tonight in Los Angeles, the Barnes & Noble at the Grove from 7 to 8 p.m., right?
That's right. Yeah, I'll be there. Same thing. We did this in Phoenix, and it was so fun. So I do like a little story time, read the book, talk to the kids. You got them all right there. So it's just so fun to hear from them. And then, line up and we took pictures, signed books, did it all. So we'll be there at the Grove from 7 to 8.
Yeah,
and it's
that
gonna be so
Barnes
good.
and Noble at the Grove is a great store. I've done signings
Yes.
there, and it's a wonderful store. They do a good job for a signing, and so any of you in that area, in the Los Angeles area, the Barnes and Noble at the Grove tonight, 7 to 8 p.m. local time. Rachel's book, I'm Glad for Where I Am. Now, this book is gratitude, right?
Yes. As a big truck passes, sorry.
That's all right. We're grateful for the cement truck. Yeah.
That's right. I know, yeah. So, the first book, I'm Glad for What I Have, that came out was Contentment. This one is all gratitude. And I was telling the news anchors this morning when I did Good Day LA that so much of my work, I feel like, even on the Ramsey show, it's the tactical side of money, right? Like we're talking about saving and investing and all of it, but that emotional side of money, those of you that have listened to Ramsey too, we talk about this a lot. It is such an important part. And so whether it's contentment, gratitude, generosity, all of those emotional side is really important for our kids to grasp and for us to grasp. So the book is based on really the foundational principle of being thankful for stuff that you can't buy, that money can't buy, which is our family, it's our home environment and all of that. So teaching the kids that foundation is what I wanted in this book.
So cool. So you're in LA. Looks like later on you go to Dallas, Atlanta. I want to know, are your kiddos going to make any cameo appearances, Rachel?
Oh, no, but do you know who is? They're listed.
That guy. Wow.
Doing my part.
He's doing his part. He's on the phone with the guys in the booth there at Ramsey just in case this call drops. I'm going to jump on his phone if this call drops. But we're doing good. So he came out to LA last night. So
He's technical support.
He looks like your bouncer, like your security right there.
Yeah, he's got the glasses, got the LA vibe. Yeah, this is very good.
We look really sketchy.
We look sketchy. Yeah, what are they doing?
I love it. All right, Dallas, Saturday the 20th, Lincoln Park from 1 to 2 p.m. and Atlanta next Friday, a week from tomorrow, April the 27th at Mansell Crossing in Alpharetta. All those are great stores. I've been to every one of them from 1 to 2. In each case, Rachel will meet with the kiddos, sign books for them, read the book. It's not that long, and so it's a great bedtime story, and we've already been using it on the old Ramsey kiddos. Papa Dave loves to read to the kiddos. So good stuff. So contentment, gratitude, that's what the first two are. The first one was a children's bestseller. This one will be a children's bestseller. It just came out this week, and it's available at RamseySolutions.com/store, or, of course, anywhere great books are sold, like where Rachel's going to be. So, again, Los Angeles tonight at The Grove from 7 to 8 p.m. Dallas on Saturday, April 20th. The Barnes & Noble at Lincoln Park from 1 to 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and Atlanta in Alpharetta the following Friday, April the 27th, from 1 to 2 p.m. So, Rachel,
and tonight, I'll throw this out there. Tonight, the illustrator, Lauren Gallegos, is going to be with me at this book signing. She lives in L.A., and so she's coming, and so you'll get a signature from the author and the illustrator, which is so fun.
Hey, I got to tell you, illustrators sign books better than authors.
I bet.
Because they make little
calligraphy.
pictures. They make little pictures with it every time. Yeah, and Lauren's precious. She does a great job, and these illustrations are world class in both these books. It's one of the reasons they've done so well, and the whole process. And it's so important as parents, if we can teach our children these skills of character. The skill, godliness with contentment is great gain. Content, gratitude. Learn to say please and thank you and mean it. And this book is all about gratitude, humility. These are skills that cause children, when they become adults, to become very attractive adults.
That's right.
To employers, to future spouses, because they're good humans.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do, is raise good humans. Andy Andrews, our good friend Rachel, always says that we're not trying to raise great kids. We're trying to raise kids who become great adults.
That's right.
And that's what these skills do. So it's very, very vital. Good stuff, Rachel. We're proud of you. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Make sure that you keep that bodyguard straight back there. We're kind of worried about him.
You look at him. So good. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
Bye, Jay.
See you, bud.
Have fun tonight.
Bye.
I love it.
Thank you. We will. Bye.
All right. So Again, tonight, for those of you in Los Angeles, the Grove, Barnes & Noble from 7 to 8 p.m., tonight being Thursday, the 18th of April, whenever you happen to be listening to or watching this. And Dallas, Texas, April the 20th on Saturday at Lincoln Park from 1 to 2 p.m. Atlanta, Friday, the April the 27th, a week from tomorrow, for those of you listening live or watching live. And that's the Barnes & Noble at Mansell Crossing at Alpharetta. You can find all this on our website. And obviously, Rachel's Instagram, she's going to post every bit of this and then some, because that's what she does. She's the Instagram queen.
I love
Her
seeing
and you
this.
with your cooking.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, you got to follow Jade if you want some cooking now. I'm just saying.
That is true. I'm not a chef, but I cook a little bit.
No, you're a cook is what you are. It's good. I pop that open, and I'm like, Sharon, I got to have dinner now. Hey, Jade's over here cooking, got my mouth watering. So, hey, check it out, folks. You can learn all of that at RamseySolutions.com/store, and we'll get you going right here on The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And Step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. With no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
Thank you for joining us, America. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. We appreciate you being here. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Scott is in Indianapolis. Hi, Scott. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Jade. Hey, Dave. We're really grateful for your ministry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. How can we help?
My mom passed away last year, and my two brothers and I inherited the home that my dad, who passed away 10 years ago or so, had. I'm wondering just how to be a good steward of that asset, and wondering if like an LLC is the best way to manage that going forward. And in addition to that, my middle brother's living in the house and will likely leave in a couple of years. And my wife and I are considering like purchasing his portion at that time, and had some questions about that, just as far as doing that well.
Okay. If you're going to end up purchasing it, and in the meantime a relative lives there, I don't think an LLC is necessary.
Okay.
The main reason you would do an LLC would be to save on risk management. So if a tenant falls off the porch and breaks their face and decides to sue you for $10 million, they have to sue the owner of the property, which is the LLC. You're not the owner. And so we do LLCs for risk management. There's really no tax benefit to LLC, and it doesn't cause people to get along who otherwise don't get along. So you guys are, the three brothers are discussing what we're going to do with this house all the time. Is that what we're doing?
Well, yes, basically. So we've done a few like renovations to it, and it's in a decent area. And my wife and I have wanted to, get involved with some property, real estate. And we're
so you're thinking of buying it to live in or as a rental?
As a rental. And so we were wondering about limiting our own liability, just in case, not just my brother, but, if something happens.
Yeah, and if you're going to keep it as a rental, I would put it into an LLC, at least your ownership portion. Now, how old is your little brother that's living in it?
He's 53, so.
Okay, somehow I had him in college in my head or something. So
No,
what
I'm
in
the
the
youngest
world?
of the
Why has he got to live there for 2 or 3 years? Was he there before your mom passed?
No, but that was something she wanted, was to have him. He was renting an apartment nearby, and she wanted him to have a home to live in. And so I helped her with her estate planning, and then I'm the executor of her estate. But the intent was to give him a place, a home to live in. He has a daughter who's married now, but eventually will have kids, and he would like to move closer to her when that happened. So he basically stated his intent that it would be a short interim period, maybe a couple of years, and then he would likely move to be closer to her. So,
and the other two of you are not receiving rent from him?
So we have discussed that, and he is paying rent, but it is part to go into the operational costs of the home. So it's like a pile of money that we all contributed to in order to service the home, and that rent is being accounted for in that accounting. So
okay, all right. As long as everybody's got their expectations set and we have a game plan, it occurs to me that you guys could all put this into an LLC, and then the way you purchase the home would simply be to buy the shares from each of your brothers.
Okay, I think that's where we were leaning. Based on your real estate experience.
Yeah, that would make sense. In this case, now I'm catching up with what your plan was. I thought he was just going to live there, and then you guys were going to move in it.
No.
At the start of the conversation. So that's why I'm changing my stance here. But I don't own anything anymore. I don't have a single thing in my name. My cars aren't in my name. I'm a complete poverty case. I own nothing. So it's all in some kind of a company, a trust, an LLC, and it's all risk management associated. And so and we're very, very careful and very direct about that. So something happens, worst case scenario, you can bankrupt an LLC, and it's just that piece of property.
It doesn't touch anything else.
It's no big deal. And so obviously you don't want to do that, but before you let somebody take all your other stuff, that's what you'd have to do, right? So anyway, that's what you're facing. And so, I'd go ahead and drop it into an LLC now. And I think I would put as much of this in writing, even if it's in letter form, that this is what our intent is. And if you guys can go ahead and come to a formula type agreement as to how you're going to price their shares to buy them out 2 years from now, and go ahead and put a 2-year date on your brother so that 2 years isn't 5 years because she didn't have children.
Yeah, that was my main concern, was that timeline. I wondered how fluid it would actually wind up being.
Yeah. It sounds like all of you have a lot of grace for each other, and there's nobody grabbing or anything. You're being very kind and loose with this, and that's good. But also, the best way for that grace to remain is if we all have a clear understanding of what the other one's doing. And so, if you just said, I want to write all this up, and then you guys all sign off on it, and here's how I'm going to buy you guys out at the end of 2 years, and here's how, the 53-year-old's going to move at the end of 2 years, and in the meantime, the rent comes in, and it's just piled up there for the three of us to use to update the house and keep the house moving operationally, as you said. And so all of that makes sense, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. But I have found that even when I'm doing something internally inside the company, I will send out an email, and sometimes I'll copy myself.
Just to have it as a record.
Because I forget what I said.
Yeah.
I got a couple things going on.
That's great.
I can't remember what all I've done. I slept since then, know, and I don't want to not keep my word just because I'm stupid and forgot, and that's possible with me. So I like writing it all down, and that way I remember what I said, you remember what I said, we all said the same thing.
And if it comes to it, you can just reference it.
Yeah, you just pull it up and go, okay, this is what we talked about. Now, if we want to do something different, we can, but this is where we left it. And then you've got a baseline to have a change discussion if you need to, or you've got a baseline for referring back to, I think we probably need to go with what we said.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. So it doesn't have to be mean, but it really helps maintain the quality of these relationships. And Scott, it sounds like the three of you have a very quality relationship, or at least you and your brother. Your one brother. I'm assuming based on the way the whole conversation went that all three of you are getting along. And that's good. But I'd lay out the formula now. What's the price going to be? Or it's going to be, we're going to get an appraisal at that time by a certified appraiser. I'm going to pay for it, and I'm going to pay you guys 80% of appraisal.
Yeah.
For your share. And that kind of thing, or whatever the formula is. I don't care. That's not a bad formula, by the way, because if you put a house on the market and sell it, and you list it on the market with a real estate agent at appraisal, you very seldom get that number. And so it's negotiated down, and then you have real estate fees, and you have closing costs, and you have other fees, and so you don't usually net more than about 85 cents on the dollar. So somewhere in there, 88, 85, somewhere in that range is where you're usually going to end up. So then if they sell to you, that's still approximately what they're going to net. So whatever the formula is, y'all lay it out, and I don't care what it is, but it's just really good to lay it out in advance and nobody's mad later.
Well, yeah, we're on a 2-year timeline. It's easy to forget in 2 years.
2 years goes so fast. I mean, it's blinding. It's, it just, everything moves so quick. And of course, the older we get, the faster it moves. It just goes. That's the plan. So, yeah, that's, but yeah, just lay it out. And yes, an LLC would be an excellent vehicle. The three of you own equal shares in it, and you're able to buy out the other two shares, and you actually can probably quit claim deed it into the LLC, and you won't have any registration costs hardly. And then when you buy the shares on the LLC, there is no registration costs because it's not a register of deeds issue. So it's going to save you on that too. Make sure you guys keep good, strong insurance on this property as well. This is The Ramsey Show. Statistics show that half of Americans don't have enough life insurance, or they don't have any at all. I don't understand this, John. Why don't people want to take care of their family? They think they're going to die or something?
Well, I used to be one of those guys, I didn't even think about it. And one of my buddies said, hey, the only reason to not have life insurance is if you hate your wife and kids. And I immediately went and got term life insurance.
That's a gut punch.
And, you're telling me, and for decades, Dave, I've sat across people who've lost a spouse. They've lost somebody important to them.
Me too.
They don't know what to do next.
Me too. I mean, you're going to have a crisis here. And, you got two options while you're sitting and talking to a young widow. She's concerned about how she's going to invest all this money properly and not mess this up, or she's concerned how she's going to eat tomorrow.
That's exactly
These are the
right.
two options.
And
take care of your dadgum family, man.
Term life insurance can replace income, pay off debts, cover funeral expenses, so your family can actually have the opportunity to just be sad.
Yeah.
To just miss you.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's saying I love you to your family. Term life insurance. Jeff Zander and the team at Zander Insurance makes it easy and affordable. I've used them personally for 25 years. They're the only people I trust. Go to Zander.com or call 800-356-4282. Jade Warshaw, best-selling author of the book Money's Not a Math Problem. One of our Ramsey quick reads, whole 74 pages. You can read it in one setting, and you're going to learn some stuff about money and yourself when you read it. She's a Ramsey personality. She's my co-host today. Our question of the day comes from Barry in Indiana.
Yeah, Barry says, I'm hoping for some validation on a decision we have made regarding flipping baby steps 5 and 6. We completed baby steps 1 through 4, and we have $95,000 parked in CDs. Instead of saving for college, we currently pay $5,000 a month on a 4.85% mortgage, where the monthly payment is about $2,500. If we stay on track, the mortgage will be paid off in 4 years. Once the house is paid off, we plan to use the extra $6,000 that we have been putting on the mortgage to cash flow college. What are your thoughts on this plan?
What are you doing with $95,000?
I underlined it. I don't know. It sounds like they already made the decision, but I mean,
that's not even baby step 5 and 6. That's just too much in cash.
Facts. I mean, he never says
baby step. You flip baby step 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of money. There's a lot here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
feel
you're
like
fine.
you had
Have
something
at
to say.
Have at it.
I mean, my thing is the baby steps are in order for a reason. In 4, 5, and 6, you can do them simultaneously, but you do them in order simultaneously. So if you're going to prioritize one over the other, you prioritize it in order. Does that make sense? So you don't skip 4 to do 5. You don't skip 6 to do 4. You do 4. And then if you have money left over, you do 5. And then if you have money, you do 6. And if 5 doesn't apply to you because you don't have kids, then you skip it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So my thought is...
And you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, which is not $95,000. So you take some of that and throw it at that mortgage.
That's right. And my thought is, I think there's a lot of ambiguity around baby step 5. It's like, how much do I do? How often do I have to do it? Da 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 da. And I think that that's something that you guys can sit and decide, because it sounds like
I'm fine if you put $50 a month in baby step 5.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's not to say that you have to stop putting extra to the mortgage. Just put a little something, because this is a 4-year plan. Who knows what's going to happen over 4 years? And I want to have something put aside for them. The only reason I might, and it's not to say that you wouldn't put it aside. It's just where you put it. Like if this is a less than 5-year, less than 4-year deal till college.
We don't have his mortgage balance, but by the time I drain most of that 95 down to 3 to 6 months of expenses, it might be a 3-year plan.
That's true.
And so $50 a month going into the kids' college for 3 years while you lean heavy on the mortgage is perfectly fine. But Barry, I've been doing this for 30 years. And I don't flip baby steps.
Yeah, don't do it. Just put something aside.
There's no reason to.
If it's, I would probably, and Dave, you can correct me on this, but if their kid is 16, I'm not putting it in a 529. I'm just throwing it in an HYSA. Let it sit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And again, the interesting thing here is that he didn't just try to flip 5 and 6. He's also sitting on $95K.
I see.
So you're just kind of making up your own deal here, Barry. That's what we're saying. So let this stuff works if you work it. I mean, we've taught 10 million people to do this, literally. I mean, actually more, but that's a minimum. And so that's what we recommend. But the point of $50 is just you're building the muscle. You're making an intellectual, not a big mathematical, but you're making an intellectual, spiritual muscle building moment. Says I'm doing college, and then I can move on.
It's
and
also
for instance, let's pretend you got 2-year-old.
Right.
Okay, $50 a month for 3 years, and then you do it and you pile it on.
Yeah.
Let's see, but he doesn't.
He doesn't say how old the kids are or when they're going.
We plan to use the extra $5K we've been putting on the mortgage to cash flow college, but it kind of indicates you got teenagers, but maybe. But either way, I think you're going to accomplish exactly the same thing you want to accomplish if you put $50 towards this, and especially if you use the vast majority of that 95 and take it down to a 3 to 6 months of expenses, because you do not have, you've got too much in cash.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's sitting in a CD is somewhat laughable. Aaron is with us in Richmond, Virginia. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having my call.
Sure. What's up?
All right, so my wife and I are in baby step 2. We've just dove in and found you, which is fantastic. However, it is occurred to us that we hit tax season and we had to pay this year, and we're worried about stopping our investments because we're going to have to pay probably 3 times more next year in taxes. So I'm really wondering what's the justification of, not paying ourselves first and investing, and more so paying the government and losing out on some of that money, even though we'll have more to go towards baby step 2.
How much are you putting in your 401ks?
I have a 6% and a 6% match.
The match doesn't count for taxes. How much are you putting into 401ks in cash?
About $540 a month.
So $6,000 a year.
Yes, sir.
And what's your household income?
$131,000.
Okay. So this saves you $2,000 in taxes.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It does.
Okay. And how much debt do you have?
About $120,000.
On what?
We have $12,000 on credit cards, $50 on student loans, and 16 vehicles.
Okay. So, I'm trying to keep from being a smart ankle. So you've got $120,000 in consumer debt. You've been spending more than you make on credit cards, and now suddenly you're worried about tax planning. So, sorry. What we have found is that the power of focus supersedes a little bit of tax savings and missing out on a little bit of match for a short period of time. And so you've got cars you can't afford. You've been living a life you can't afford. And so you've never addressed the student loans. They have their own bedroom at your place. And you make a ton of money and you're still broke. And a little bit of tax savings does not fix that. What fixes that is a dramatic change in paradigm by you and your wife to completely take your lifestyle to scorched earth and get this freaking mess you made cleaned up. And with that visceral, emotional movement, the way I just said it, down in your stomach, that's when you quit everything because the house is on fire and we're trying to get the family out alive. And we're not worried about whether or not we turned off the faucet. Does it make any sense?
Yes, sir.
You're majoring in minors.
Right. Is that something we just need to budget for the tax season coming?
Yeah, you change your withholding to where you have the appropriate amount withheld, so you don't have a
big bill.
A tax bill above your withholding at the end of the year. But the loss on taxes and the loss on the match is temporary, and mathematically you come out way ahead 10 years from today because you actually do clear the debt, because you actually do transform the people in your mirror. And that's the key to this. It's not a math problem. If you were doing math, you wouldn't be where you are. People that do math don't buy $60,000 cars they can't afford. People that do math don't have credit card debt. And so, this is not a math problem. It's a behavior problem and a shift in how we live and how we think and who we are as people. And that's what we're trying to get you to do. And so when we start nuancing and carving off the edges around the thing, it changes. It keeps that from occurring.
You have to have balanced reasoning on both sides. If you say you care about the $2,000 saved in taxes, then why don't you care about the $2,000 that you're losing on interest on your student loans and your cars and your credit cards?
Yeah.
That's way, way more than that every month, keeping that debt around.
Yeah. So let's get in attack mode and clean this out of your life for the last time, Brody. That's what Aaron, that's what we would tell you to do. And so, yeah. It's not a math problem. It's a me problem. Personal finance is not the problem. It's the symptom. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to get up to 40% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. She's the author of the Ramsey Quick Read, Money's Not a Math Problem, which is kind of what we were just talking about.
That's right.
So, yeah.
It's more about your way of thinking sometimes.
Yeah. So, Dave, I don't want to take my savings and pay off my credit cards because it doesn't feel mathematically correct. Like you were doing math when you ran up an 18% credit card.
Right.
So it's interesting when we choose to do math and we choose not to.
I think that's a cop-out when people say that. What it really is I don't feel like doing that.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think I figured out how I'm smarter than this system that 10 million people have done.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what that is. So it's kind of like, I hired a personal trainer and he was helping me at the house, at our home gym, and Sharon's making fun of me. She's like, he goes down and counts to 10. You don't know how to count to 10? You got to have somebody count to 10 for you? You can't count to 10 by yourself? And she's giving me a hard time. I'm like, no, he's here because he has a six-pack and I have a keg. And so what he says to do about that matters more than what I think I need to do.
That's true.
And she said, that's true. That she agreed with. So there you go. The keg part especially.
Well,
so
then there's the layer of it where you actually have to do what he says.
Oh, God, now you're getting meddling.
Just saying.
Just meddling. All right, Janice is with us. Janice is in Cincinnati. Hi, Janice. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for your ministry, and thank you for taking my call.
We're honored to talk to you. How can we help?
Well, I would like to know if you can help me work through numbers to see if it's okay for me to retire. I've been working. I retired from the Navy and from teaching, and I've been working for about 8 years. I am really tired. So I need to know if I have enough to retire.
Okay. So how much do you have coming in from those two, from the teaching and from the Navy? Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. So the teaching, my retirement for teaching, I have $4,490.31.
Mm-hmm.
And just to break it all down, I have $12,000 coming in monthly because I've got a rental income, I've got the Navy retirement, and I'm working 2 other jobs. I'm working 2 jobs.
Yeah, but that counts you. That counts you not retiring. So I'm trying to figure out $4,400 from teaching. How much from the Navy?
$608.90.
All right, so that's $5,000. And how much from rental?
Well, the rental is $2,800 a month.
Then you have expenses.
And I have expenses. Yeah.
So it's probably netting $1,500, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. So you got about $6,500 if you don't work. Does that sound right?
Yes, it sounds about right. Yes.
Okay.
And yes.
How old are you?
We're the same age. I'm 63. I just turned 63 on April. I mean, on Sunday. Gosh.
Okay. Well, happy birthday. And, okay, so how much debt have you got?
Okay, that's my big problem. I have a condo. I've listened to you for years. I got out of debt, bought my cars and for cash, and now I have a condo for that I owe $98,000 on. I bought it in the pandemic. I bought it for like $270 something. So I've been paying on it as much as I can. So
That's your only debt?
That's my only debt.
Do you have any money?
Do you have a nest egg anywhere?
I have $30,000 in oh gosh, I'm so nervous. In a money market in the Federal Navy credit union.
Good.
Okay.
And then I have, yes.
You have anything else?
I just paid a big lump sum on the condo in order to get that. It came down to 30. It was 100, so I paid like 60 or 70 to get it down to 90.
Okay.
And what was your question? I'm sorry.
Do you have anything else? Any other money?
In cash? No.
Or do you have investments? A retirement account?
I have a retirement account of about 200,000, and then I have. You told me so when I turned 62, I stopped contributing to the 403 so I can start getting money to pay the condo off, and then I started putting in an IRA.
Okay, how much is in it?
About 20,000.
Okay, so your nest egg is 220,000 plus the 30 in the Navy Federal Credit Union. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. And are you making $6,000 a month at work?
I'm making $4,000 at my one job, and then at my other job, I just found out I need to pay more taxes, so now it's down. I'm just getting $470. I'm having the rest go to Uncle Sam because I had to pay last month.
Okay.
Last week, and I don't want to have to pay it a lot.
Okay, so you're making about $4,500 a month take-home pay working. Is that right?
No, I'm making 12. It's 12,000.
No, honey, I'm talking about at your work. I already got your 6,500 from everything else.
Okay. Yes.
What do you take you to live? What can you live on?
I got a budget about 2,000. Well, for my house up here, for where I live at, because I don't live in the condo, it's $2,331.
Where do you live?
I live in Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Where's the condo?
It's in Florida. It's in right about 3 miles from Disney.
Oh, that's the rental.
Got it.
That's the rental. Yeah.
Okay, so when you pay it off, you pay it off and retire, are you going to move in it?
My home is our family's gathering place, so the answer is no. I may go down there for like a couple of months. I would like to.
So you're going to rent in Ohio while you own a condo in Florida?
No, you told me to pay this house off, and I paid this house off.
Jesus, Murphy. Okay.
That's great.
Okay. All right. What's the condo worth?
I follow you.
No, that's okay. What's the condo worth?
I'm saying about $390,000, $400,000.
So what would happen if you sold it and quit work? You'd have $500,000 in investments, and you have $6,000 a month coming in.
That's great.
So you think I should sell the condo?
I mean, it's only making you...
I just asked you. I said, what would happen if you sold it and put $300,000 to go with your $200,000? That'd be $500,000 in investments with a SmartVestor Pro. You're 63. You have zero debt, and from teacher and Navy, you've got $5,000 a month coming in that you easily can live on.
Right.
And the $500,000 is just going to sit over there and grow. And your current home is worth what?
About $300,000.
Okay, so you have $800,000 net worth at that point, soon to be a millionaire. Sell the condo.
I like the condo.
I don't. It's in Florida, and you're in Ohio.
Okay.
You want to quit? Well, you know what? You're working your butt off. You call me because you're tired, because this condo owns you.
Yeah. Well, the plan I was thinking is to sell the condo and get another condo there. I did boot camp in Florida, and I really want to go down to Florida.
They got hotels in Florida, honey.
How much time do you spend in Florida?
Well, now that I'm working, I'll fly down for a weekend or
See,
I don't
it's
in summer
Yeah, I
because
mean,
I'm a teacher.
if
I'm in
you
a
retired,
teaching
how
field.
much time would you spend in Florida, honey?
At least 3 months because I don't like the winter.
Okay.
You want to be a
And then
snowbird.
I figured I
Right,
could.
then you need to work another year and pay the condo off and keep it. And don't put renters in it, honey, if you're going to live in it.
Because they're going to destroy it.
Hello. And you can't live there while they live there, and that's how that works. So if you want to go down there for 3 months and you have a renter in there, you can't go. So if you're going to use it as vacation property, use it as vacation property. Otherwise, sell it and retire in Ohio almost a millionaire. And within a year or two, you would be a millionaire if you sit down with a SmartVestor Pro and do good investing with the mutual funds with $500,000. It'll double about every 7 years, roughly. This is The Ramsey Show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. She is a Ramsey personality and a best-selling author of the book, The Ramsey Quick Read, Money's Not a Math Problem. So joining us to help us answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Bill is in Chicago. Hi, Bill. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and Jade. Thank you for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Last year, my father passed away, and he had a business, but he left the business in a trust, and he put the accountant that he was working with as the executor of the trust. And since then, I've had very little contact with the accountant. I've tried calling and emailing, and I'm just trying to get answers on what I can do to find out how the business is doing.
Are you the beneficiary of the trust?
Yes, I am. I am a 50% beneficiary along with my sister.
Okay. And the accountant is not responding?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I'm lucky to get a response like once in a blue moon.
Okay. What is the business? How big a business are we talking about?
My dad had it valued at roughly about $2.5 million.
What is it?
Just before he passed. It's generator repair and sales.
So who's operating it?
The accountant is.
He's doing generating, operating, and repairs, and he's accountant?
Generator repairs.
Yeah, understand.
Yeah,
I said it wrong.
The accountant. No, you're fine. Or I could have said it wrong. I'm
no,
sorry.
I did. I'm sorry. He's out. So it's got employees, and this guy's running the business.
Yes.
Where is it?
In the northwest suburbs of Chicago.
And you live there?
I live just south of there.
Okay. All right. You should contact an attorney, and you and your sister should remove him as the trustee. He's not the executor. Trusts don't have executors. Trusts have trustees. Okay.
Right.
And the trustee makes the decision, but the trustee is supposed to run the trust for the benefits of the beneficiaries. Not returning the phone call or the email of the beneficiaries is not something you get away with when you're a trustee. You will be removed.
Okay.
So the first thing you do is contact an attorney and find out how you're going to do that under Illinois law. And then right after you leave the meeting with the attorney, go ahead and just drive over to the office where this guy is.
Okay.
And say, Bubba, we're not doing this anymore. I'm the beneficiary, which means you work for me. That's what a trust means. And so you're not going to be working for me anymore unless you start working for me.
Okay.
How's that sound?
I like that idea.
Okay. And we remove him from the business and put someone in to run the business or sell the business, right?
Right.
Or he decides to straighten up his act and go, oh, I didn't realize you were my boss.
Seems like he got it twisted, as they say.
So I don't know why your dad did this. This is very strange.
My dad kind of did the will and trust as almost like a last minute kind of deal. I don't think he actually had
You don't think he even understood what he pulled off?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think he had the time to dot all of his I's and cross his T's.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it would have been real simple to just leave the business to his kids.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But anyway, yeah. So I think I'm going to contact an estate planning attorney, and send them the documentation of the trust. I'm sure you have a copy of it. If not, it's part of the public record. It had to be filed with the will being filed and everything else. And then sit down with that attorney and say, what is the process to remove a trustee who is not acting in the best interest of the beneficiaries?
Okay.
Because the beneficiary is the actual... that they are the ones who benefit, the beneficiary. Right. And so you're the stockholder. You own it.
Right.
Yeah, and if the trustee is not acting in the best interest of the beneficiary, they can be removed in almost any trust.
Okay.
And but I want to know what my rights are. I want to know what the law says in Illinois. I don't, and if I'm you need to become an expert on that. And then you need to go have a conversation with Bubba about whether he wants to run this thing or not.
Bubba's tripping.
And Bubba's getting ready to be tripping after this conversation. He's going to be having an issue. He's got a new issue. His issue is Bill. And we're going to help Bill be an issue. Brody is in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Brody. How are you?
Hey, Dave and Jade. How are y'all today?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I've kind of been in a tailspin for the last 6 to 8 months. I jumped out of a career where I was making, between me and my wife, almost $300,000, but it was coming at the sacrifice of my family. I missed my daughter basically growing up until she was a year old, and just woke up one day and couldn't do it anymore. So I jumped ship on that career and have moved over to a lower paying career that's going to give me a little bit more of some family time.
What were you making before?
I was making, by myself, not including my wife, I was making about $250,000.
And what were you doing?
Selling new construction.
And why couldn't you just work less?
It was a pretty set schedule. It wasn't really an option to work less. I was
working 80 hours a week?
Well, just gone every weekend. So I got 2 days off during the week and basically never saw my wife. I was commuting over an hour each way to the community I was in.
Your wife works?
Makes 50.
My wife works Monday through Friday.
Yeah. I see.
Okay, and so you just said, okay, I quit. And so now how much do you make?
This year I'm expected to make roughly $160 by myself.
Okay, so you took a $100,000 year pay cut.
Yes, sir. To be home with my wife and daughter on the weekends.
Does that work with your budget?
It definitely does. We're 100% debt free.
Great.
All we have is our mortgage. We owe about $340 on the house.
Okay. And you have a $210,000 income, so you can afford a $340,000 mortgage.
So what's the question?
Yes, sir. The question is, we've got roughly $160,000 just sitting in a savings account. We pretty much stockpiled my entire income while I was selling new homes. We've lived way below our means. So I'm wondering if I should take some of that, throw it at the house, and recast the mortgage.
No.
More room in the budget.
The point is to pay it off. You don't want a lower payment.
Well, we've only had the mortgage roughly 8 months. We just moved in. So my thought was it wouldn't really extend the loan that much, but it would just put some more buffer in our monthly.
You don't need buffer in your monthly. You make $210,000. You need to pay off your mortgage. You need to pay off your mortgage.
That's definitely the goal.
So
keep 3 to 6 months aside.
Other than your emergency fund, I would throw every piece of cash I've got at this mortgage, and then I'd throw a bunch of income at the mortgage. No, you don't want to recast and take your payment down. Jade's right. No. You're going the wrong way, Brody. Wrong way, dude. This is The Ramsey Show. So it's just a little over a month away. I'll be doing the Ramsey Investing Essentials event. It's a 2-night, 2-hour a night virtual event. I'll be doing it. George Campbell's going to come along and help me, come in and interrupt me periodically. That's how George helps. And
a little snark here and there.
He's an expert at that. He is. Yes, he is. And so about like me anyway. But yeah, we're going to have some fun. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to lay out the basics of investing, number one. And then number two, we're going to go beyond investing 101 and go into 201, 301, and 401 in some graduate levels. So I'm going to unpack details on mutual funds, how I actually personally select my mutual funds. We're going to get into real estate at length, a ton about real estate. I own several $100 million worth of real estate. I don't sell a course on TikTok on how to do real estate. And so this is just me. I'm going to tell you what I do. So if you want to know what my playbook is, and I actually do it. I've actually done it for decades, and so it's not like a theory, like I'm doing this out of the trunk of my car or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'd love to have you. It's going to be May 21st and 22nd. Dave Ramsey's Investing Essentials, and it's pretty cool. I've never covered this material in public before.
Dave,
I'm a little nervous.
Give us a taste of what a topic might be in the 401 conversation.
The details of exactly how to place valuation on an investment real estate property.
Ooh. Okay. I like it.
The stuff you would learn if you get a CCIM. Which is the highest designation in commercial real estate, as an example. So we'll unpack that and then look at internal rates of return, which is how you properly measure real estate returns, and look at risk management and risk measurement and things like that as well. So we're going to unpack every bit of that. And it's pretty highbrow junk, and it's pretty nerdy. And so, if you don't have two nickels to rub together, you probably shouldn't spend your time or your money on this. I'll probably teach it again someday, or it's going to be recorded, so we'll have it out there somewhere, I'm sure. But anyway, it's I think it's a couple $100 for the ticket or something. So Dave Ramsey's Investing Essentials. I've never done the material before, so I'm looking forward to doing it. It's going to be kind of fun, but it's me teaching nerd finance class. So and some of the the trollers or whatever think I don't actually know this stuff, and that's the humorous part of this. So anyway, we're here to help everyone, even people who have a lot of money. So there you go.
I love it.
RamseySolutions.com/events to sign up for any of our events, and that includes, of course, that one. So thanks for being with us. David is in Atlanta. Hi, David. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you taking the call.
My pleasure. How can we help?
I don't know that you can. I was told to be brief, so I'll be brief. I recently got into a rental home back in March of this year. We are already behind, and unfortunately, we were not completely forthcoming with the landlord that we leased from.
In what way?
He doesn't have my correct Social Security number.
Okay. Why?
Because the way we've been living over the last several years, we have been kicked out of previous homes that we've rented.
How many?
At least 6.
So you've been evicted 6 times, and now you're behind on your rent for the 7th.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We are.
Why?
There are several reasons. A lot of it has been me attempting to try to make my spouse happy. and not making the right decision as a man, as a leader, and being too passive.
Is that in the
So that's
form of
part of
you not working, or you choosing places you just grossly can't afford?
Choosing places we can't afford.
Okay. All right. So what do you make, David?
I have a few sources of income, sir. I work full time. That brings in about $1,000 a week after taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And once I'm done with that job, I have other companies that I work for when they need me to do towing and changing tires and getting people's keys out of their cars and things of that nature. On a slow week, that adds about another $300. On good weeks, it could add up to around $600.
So around 50.
So let's call it another $6,000 a year, give or take. Okay. And
then I get.
And does your wife work outside the home?
No, I get an additional $41.53 now through the Army.
From a retirement or discharge or medical discharge.
Correct.
Okay. So you get another $4,000 a month.
Correct.
Okay. So I got 52 and 6 and 4 and 48, and so you're making over $100,000 a year. Pray tell,
Exactly.
What is your rent?
$2,610.
Okay. Which you actually can afford.
Exactly.
It's the lifestyle.
And what else are you doing with the money instead of paying for the rent?
This time around, it was because I made the poor decision to promise a trip for one of my children. And so it was one of the situations where...
No, I mean, you're bringing in $10,000 a month. You have $2,600 in rent. Where is all the money going?
We had to buy a car outright, and we've had to put, up to this point, about...
How expensive a car did you buy outright?
It was $1,400, sir.
You bought a $1,400 car.
No, this can't be it, because
That's not even close. Okay, so what? I'm not talking about this month. I'm talking about over the last several years. You've been making serious money and have chosen not to pay your rent.
No, sir. This has only transpired over the last 9 months.
Okay, so why'd you get kicked out of the last place then? Why weren't you paying your rent? I mean, you have a huge car payment anywhere?
No, sir.
Okay. How many kids do you have?
I have 5.
Okay. How old are they?
The oldest is 28, out on her own.
Good.
The other one is 23. He's out on his own.
Good.
And then I have a 21-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 12-year-old that are living with us.
Okay. All right. And does your wife work outside the home, sir?
She doesn't work outside the home. She's doing something on her own on the side, and that brings in an additional, now, $1,400 a month.
Okay. All right. And so if you brought in $10,000 last month, why did you not pay your rent? Because you promised a trip and bought a $1,400 car?
Well, it was a $1,400 car, but unfortunately it needed about $2,500 worth of repairs that we weren't aware of, and now it needs another $14,000.
How long have you been making $100,000 a year? How long have you been making a decent income?
9 months. As he said, 9 months ago he got this
9
job.
months.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, I missed that. Okay.
All right, David, there's something really glaringly missing in this whole equation, and I can't put my finger on it. And I hesitate to just start lashing out at this very frustrating situation because you're hurting and you're scared, okay? So here's the simple... Let me just back into the way you should be doing this. Okay?
Okay.
The way you should be doing this is you ought to be bringing home the money, and the first thing it does is buy food. The second thing is lights and water, and the third thing is you pay your rent. You have the money to do all of those. What in God's name causes someone to buy a $1,400 car and then spend $2,500 on it and then propose to spend another $1,400 on it? You drive that thing over to the junkyard, park it, and take a check and walk away and go buy something else. This is dumber than a rock, man. Don't do that. And then you guys have got to get on a game plan and start to control your money. And I don't know, and quit promising kids stuff, and then you get evicted. Oh, and by the way, commit criminal fraud and don't give them your actual proper Social Security number too. That's like go to jail stuff, man. Don't do this stuff. So you guys got to get control. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Caleb and Christina are with us on the debt-free stage right here in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing good. How are you, Dave?
So excited to be here.
Well, we're honored to have you. How much, where you guys live?
Denver, Colorado.
Very cool. Very cool. Thanks, man. We appreciate y'all coming all the way out here. And how much debt have you paid off?
We did $102,000 over 36 months.
Good for you.
Nice.
And your range of income during that time?
So we started around $85,000, and we are around $200 now.
Very
Wow,
good. What do y'all do for a living?
So I'm a personal trainer and online health coach as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then up until now, I've done a nursing by trade, I'm an energy medicine practitioner, and I'm also a makeup artist.
Oh, very cool. Up until now. What do you mean?
Up until now, because I've made this transition into coming out of nursing and doing my energy medicine practice full time.
Ah, very cool.
Yeah.
Got a baby on the way.
Yes, we do.
The second one. Okay,
Yeah.
Very good. Good for you guys. What kind of debt was the $102,000?
A little bit of everything. Cars,
credit cards, and student debt.
Student debt,
Wow.
a couple
And
personal loans in
some
there
loans.
too. Yeah.
How long you guys been married?
2 years.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So a little bit before you got married, you started thinking about this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Started
didn't do
working on
things exactly the Dave Ramsey way.
Okay. All right. So you decided to get in attack mode on the 36,000. I mean, on the 102,000. Tell us the story. How'd you get plugged into the Ramsey stuff?
So it was actually right around just before COVID started that we were introduced to you guys. And we had a friend that had paid her debt off, and we saw one of her posts. And so we were just asking about it, and she told us. So we both bought the FPU course, and we started going through that. And it wasn't long after that like, boom, pandemic. And
that messes up personal training.
Yeah, I mean, the gym closed for a little bit over 3 months, and so and that was a big part of where the difference in income was. Because for that time, I ended up going working at Costco for a while, and making $15 an hour. And so that was kind of really all I was doing at the time. But I also saw that as an opportunity where the biggest portion of the student loans was mine. And I noticed that, or I found out whenever they were pausing the payments and the interest, I was like, this is the time to attack this.
That's right.
Yeah. And so, we just, even though we weren't making as much, we just started attacking it then. And from there, as things started to reopen and life started to get a little bit more normal, I went back to training and got a different job, got out of the retail world, and we just built it from there.
Yeah, it just took off.
I love that you didn't allow, your decrease in income for the time to you didn't let that take an opportunity from you, like that interest-free period and that payment-free period from student loans. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That would have been an easy thing to use as an excuse, is what she's saying.
Definitely.
Might have been a few people did that. I don't know, but not you guys.
And to be honest, in the beginning, him and I were not on the same page. We come from very different financial backgrounds. And he was like gung-ho from the first go. And to be honest, the first 12 months was a little bit rough between both of us because he was like, we're doing this. And I was like, nah, I'm okay to have a little bit of debt here and there. Like, it's totally fine. So I was like lukewarm. And so
I'm like, well, babe, Dave says, he's like, ugh. this guy.
Oh, this
So how'd you go from lukewarm to boiling?
Okay, we listened to your guys' show when we're working out together, and we listened to one of your episodes where some caller was talking about how she sold her home to pay off her debt. And so I took out the AirPod and I was like, have you ever thought about this? And he was like, babe, I've literally thought about this a million times, but I know that you won't do it. And so for me, I was a single mom when I met Caleb. And so it was really important to me to keep this this condo that I had purchased by myself. And I was like, I'm going to save this for my future kiddo so that he always has this piece of investment in his life, or he can do whatever he wants with it later. And then when we heard that podcast episode, I was like, wait a second, he gets really stressed out with finances. Okay. So for me, it was almost a stressor on me too. And I was just like, look, if this is going to make our life that much easier, then 100% I'm on board. Let's get rid of this mortgage. Let's pay off the rest of this debt. Let's get into step 3, and I'm all in. And so since then, it's not been easy because budgeting is not very fun for me. Obviously, I'm the extrovert, so I need to have all the fun around it. So we made it into a date night, and it became something that I wanted to do. And so now I'm like, babe, it's the 30th. We need to get on reviewing what we did the month before, and then we need to get into our every dollar and make sure we're prepped for the next month.
Caleb quit using my name as a cuss word. That's
right.
good.
That's a shift.
It was no longer a threat, yes.
I love it. Way to go, you guys. Very cool. How's it feel to be free?
Oh.
I mean, I was one of those people, when I came out of college, I had, 55, close to 60,000 in student debt. And then I didn't touch them for a few years, and they just built up to a maximum of around 70.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a good amount of time where I just saw that, and I thought, this is just what people live with,
Just hopeless.
Yeah, I'm never going to pay this off. It's just going to be something I have,
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally started to realize that's not how you have to live life. You can have something, you can have a debt-free life, and you don't have to carry these loans and all this extra weight on you. Yeah, I mean, it feels incredible. I mean,
Caleb's been dreaming about this moment. When we first started FPU, he was like, I cannot wait until we're on that stage. We're going to do our debt-free scream. And we were supposed to go on a baby moon. So this is our baby moon. So I compromised.
Nashville. Hey, Nashville's a cool baby moon.
It works.
It works.
She wanted Vegas. We settled on Nashville.
Oh, that's
I wanted to be by a pool.
Somewhat the same, I'm afraid. But, way to go,
boy.
you guys. Way to go. I'm proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Proud of y'all.
Yeah.
Was anybody cheering you on from the outside?
Yeah, I mean, more or less, a lot of our friends and family, even though, a lot of people kind of look at it and they don't maybe understand what we're doing. And, it's not something that they necessarily believe in themselves. We had a lot of people saying, this is really cool. That you guys they're on this journey, and so
Yeah, I think it's really cool because when you start this journey, you actually start sharing it. People that are also like Dave Ramsey weirdos come out and they're like, oh yeah, we're so with you.
Yeah.
And then they share their story with us too.
You have
so
to know
that's
the
really
code, though.
Yeah.
You have to,
And then
you
they
have to
start
unlock
coming
the code.
out of the woodwork.
Yep. Yeah. We figured out
better than I deserve is the code.
That's-
When you say
yeah.
that's code for we're doing this.
Yeah, we figured out people don't talk about it unless you bring it up first.
Yeah, because they get trashed by their crazy friends.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. Way to go, y'all. Proud of you. Hey, we got a couple of
you.
years of every dollar for you. 1-year subscriptions for that to say thanks for coming down. And
Thank you.
We really appreciate you guys. All right, let's bring the young man up. What's his name and age?
Neo.
And he's 7.
Neo is 7, and his parents have changed his life. I love it. Way to go. Very cool stuff. All right, Caleb and Christina and Neo, $102,000 paid off in 36 months, making $85,000 to $200,000. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! This is how it's done right here. Oh, man. I do. I've heard the story a lot where I go from cuss word to saint.
It's possible.
All in one fell story arc right there. I love it. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, this is Habakkuk 3:19. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes me as sure-footed as a deer, able to tread upon the heights. Tina Fey said, confidence is 10% hard work and 90% delusion. Love it.
I'm with it.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Amy is in Boston. Hi, Amy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I was hoping you could help me figure something out. I'm dealing with a lot of resentment and anger and frustration over the fact that I have a friend who is basically committing workers' compensation fraud. She was injured on the job. It was legitimate. And she was collecting workers' comp for a couple of years. For 4 years, she's been absolutely fine. And she collects a good portion of her salary for doing whatever she wants. And she acts like it's okay. And what's worse is she puts me down for working. And I don't know what to do about it. I think if she were not part of my friend group and I wasn't going to see her, I would just stop being friends with her. But she is, and I don't want things to be uncomfortable. And yet I just have such a hard time with this. I've worked my whole life. I raised 2 kids by myself. I'm divorced since they were 3 and 4. They're in their 20s now. They're both struggling to buy a house, even though they work really hard and they're saving their money.
Yeah, I got
paid
you.
over $40,000 in taxes last year.
I got you.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's maddening, yeah.
Are you the only one in your friend group who knows this? Like, is this a secret or everybody knows?
Oh, everybody knows. Everybody knows.
And are you the only one who has a problem with it? Because what I'm trying to decide here is if she's the problem or if the friend group in general is the problem.
Well, we go back a long way. We've been friends since grammar school.
Mm-hmm.
And, there were a lot of years when we were raising our families, we're in our 50s now, where we didn't see each other very much. And so a lot of this wasn't really known. But yeah, we all have a problem with it. But for some reason, we just don't.
Has anyone confronted her with it? Because if you're telling me, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. If I have a good buddy, which I do, and I've had this situation, I've earned the right at that point to, speak truth and say, hey, listen, here's what you've told me. Unless there's something I'm missing, here's what I'm observing. And we've always held each other to higher standards in this. Like, what's going on? If I'm your friend,
she's always been the kind of person who will tell you exactly what she thinks, but if you do it to her, she'll cut you off at the knees.
Okay, well, she can dish it out, and she can't take it.
Exactly.
I mean, what is the big draw here? Why not just end this relationship? There's no point. I mean, you don't have to be mean and call her up and say I break up, but I mean, just quit hanging out with her. She's not good people.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah, I don't.
And I don't think there's any chance you're going to change her. So why hang out with people that are misbehaving? You're going to become one of them.
Mm-hmm. Plus,
oh no.
Well, you are, because you become who you hang around with, and you're angry all the time about something that is not even your problem.
And that was the indicator when you first told us I have a friend who's committing fraud, but then after it, you were like, I do this and I've done that, and I pay my taxes, and my kids are trying to buy. Like, that's when I was like, oh, this is really making you feel some type of way. It's not worth it.
Yeah, why hang out with her?
You're right.
Cut it off.
Why?
Okay.
What's the purpose?
Yeah.
There's no purpose. There's nothing gained when you're with her.
Mm-mm.
Well, I don't hang out with her.
It's enough to make you call the show.
Yeah, I know. Because you know why? Because I saw her today, and you're right. It makes me crazy. I guess my
that's
problem
you.
with
That's
it
not her.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bothering her a bit. She's living rent free in your head, and she's committing fraud.
Uh-huh.
This chick's got it all the way around. So now, I mean, I would just let her go do whatever she's going to do.
yeah.
I mean, I know lots of people who misbehave, but I don't want to hang out with them, and I'm certainly not going to spend my brain calories trying to fix them when they don't even want me to.
Right. She's at home eating a ham sandwich, and you're here ripping your hair out
over her.
Over nothing.
I know. Yeah, you're right. I know.
ham
And
sandwich?
I think the reason. I mean, the reason why I haven't done that, I think it's because I don't want it to be awkward when I know I'm going to see her.
I don't need to see her.
Yeah, I don't even think you need to have any.
Okay.
It's
I have a friend that I have known for 45 years, roughly. Okay, who has about 10 years ago, I said I don't even want to be in the room with them again because they have a tremendous problem with their temper. And they'll be going along just fine and sweet as they can be, and then just decide they're going to light somebody up, and they usually do it digitally because usually they're a coward. Okay? And they'll light somebody else in the friend group up and just tear them to pieces. And then go on and act like they didn't do anything. Just pretend like it never happened. And those people are dangerous, and I don't want to be around them. And so I just made a decision. I've known them a long, long time, but I don't, if they're going to be at the party, I'm probably not.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be around them. And it's not awkward at all. I don't want to expose myself to the foolishness of this human being. And that's what you're talking about. And so it's sad, but and
friendships run their course, and that's fine.
yeah, they do.
Everybody is not a lifer, and that's okay.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, for sure they do. And because your life changes, they change. Everything changes. You move different areas of the country. You start to,
Commit fraud.
You're. I'm sorry.
I said you start to commit fraud.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's that. Yeah. You start to be a criminal, and then there's that, and and then you run other people down who work hard. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I rob banks, but you work. And
Right.
Look at you. And so, but yeah. I mean, that's yeah. Amy,
That's not
you're spending too many calories trying to fix somebody that doesn't want to be fixed, and you're doing it over and over and over in your head, and she doesn't care. So I you don't have to call her up and break up. I just wouldn't be around when she's around. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And then if she calls up and says, "Hey, where you been?" Going, I just had enough of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just got a gut full of your fraud, and you running me down. And I'm a hardworking person that pays my bills, and I don't cheat and steal, and you do, and I just had enough of you. And
You can't be friends with someone you don't respect.
Yeah.
Bottom line, like
Yeah.
there has to be a base level of I respect you as a human being.
Yeah,
And
I respect something about
Yeah.
you, and it's like, I have people that are friends of mine that vote wrong, but they've got great intellect.
Yeah.
And they're just using it poorly. And so it's a lot of fun to hang out with. And I like getting in good spirited, friendly arguments
There
with
you
them.
go.
But because I like being around people that believe things I don't. And,
Of course.
And just to learn and to check my ideas against them and all that. It's a little intellectual sparring, if you will. But that's different than this is the person I'm going to call when my family's in trouble.
Yeah.
Because this person, a friend is somebody, a 2 a.m. friend, we call them, is who you call at 2 a.m. when the kid's sick and you got to run them to the emergency room and you need somebody to keep the other kid.
Yeah. Well, there's also a level of this, and I'm not trying to go too deep, but if you're committing fraud, you're lying. And it's hard to be friends with liars.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Everything moves at the speed of trust, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, that about puts this particular hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.